And we're recording. Welcome and good evening, and thank you so much for being here and joining me, whether you are on our Zoom, whether you are live in our Radiant Life Facebook group, or whether you are watching this later, maybe on YouTube, maybe somewhere else. I don't know. You never know where we can go viral. So I wanted to come on tonight and talk a little bit about emotional well-being. That's really our theme for the month. In our Facebook group, we've been talking about many ways to support our emotional well-being. We had the fabulous Beth Lees share meditation tips with us. And yesterday we had Jeannie Blody talk about food and mood. And right now, times are crazy. And one of my favorite tools to use for emotional support is the use of essential oils. And so I wanted to share a couple of things tonight. We're going to try to keep this a short and sweet class, hopefully 30 minutes or so, depending on questions, and to just talk a little bit about how do the emotions work, where do they kind of come from, and how can essential oils actually affect our mood, and what are a few of my top favorites for some of the most common emotions that are running wild right now. So with that, I'm going to share the screen, but before I do that, just a couple of little tips. If I usually start if you're new to Zoom, but at this point, who could possibly be new to Zoom? Our whole day seems to be on Zoom. But if you are new to Zoom, you can pop something in the chat. I'll check that every once in a while. Love it, love it, love it. So we're checking the chat. If you're commenting on the Facebook group, I will try to take a peek at that from time to time as well. All right, so I'm going to share the screen. And what I'd love for you to start with, to put into the chat, is what emotion are you feeling most frequently right now in these times? What emotion do you find yourself feeling most of the time, or it's kind of the predominant emotion that you're feeling? It could be a positive. Overwhelmed. Okay, overwhelmed. I'm going to raise my hand for that. Thank you, Julie. Low grade sadness. Donna, I'm feeling you on that. Sometimes I'm in high grade sadness, but there's always like a low grade sadness going on. I totally feel that. Relaxed. I love that, Sammy. Yeah, a lot of times people are saying, you know, they have less on their schedule, they're not running, and it's a little bit more relaxing. Yeah, any other emotions that you find are really coming up for you a lot? For me right now, it's a lot of the time a lack of focus. Getting more annoyed with hints of anger. Yeah, anger is definitely a response to trauma. Right now, we are in a global trauma. The entire world is going to have some form of PTSD, I believe. And we don't know what these long-term effects of that are going to be, but we do have tools that we can use. And even just on this Zoom call, we have Reiki, we have positive psychology, we have massage, we have chiropractic, we have all kinds of tools that we can go to. So I'm going to share my screen and jump into this. Whoops, now my screen is showing you Facebook because we're live on Facebook. So how can we feel good more often? Right now, of course, there are many reasons that it is hard to feel good on a daily basis, but there are ways that we can feel good more often. So what I'm going to talk about briefly tonight is just a little bit behind the science and essential oils and emotions, some tools and habits that we can use, and then some just practical steps and some favorite oils that I like for some of our most prevalent and common emotions. So we're really an integrated being. We are designed to function as a whole. Our body, our mind, and our spirit are inseparably connected, and they're all communicating with each other at a cellular level. So all these cells are like little messenger molecules, and they are brilliant. Our body is brilliant in its design, and our body naturally wants to be balanced and whole. And we get in the way of that a lot of time. We interfere with some of our choices. But one of my missions is to really show people how you can be your own best advocate and really claim the gift of wellness. And if you have not been feeling your best, to find ways to do that. Going backwards there. So let's talk a little bit about emotions and beliefs. Our emotions are these little information carrying molecules, and they connect with the cell receptors in our body. They get into the cells, and that impacts the way the cells function, which impacts how we behave. So someone mentioned anger. We may behave in an angry way because of those little molecules that are connecting with our cell receptors. It is all biological. It's not just in your head and in your mind. It is a biological, physiological response in your body. We have 3 brains, and we're hearing more and more about these 3 brains. And the 3 brains are the mind, which is our subconscious mind, is responsible for 90% of what we do. So only 10% is actually from our conscious mind. And that's really what directs things. Our heart, we have a lot of neural pathways that go from our heart to our brain and vice versa. And then finally our gut, and we're hearing more and more about this. And in fact, on our Wellness Wednesday live yesterday with Jeannie, she talked about gut health and the fact that the majority of our feel-good chemicals, things like serotonin, are produced in the gut. So food is important as well. And these 3 brains all need to talk together to feel good. They all need to connect to feel good. So let's talk about the body for a second. Our 3 brains process everything that happens in our life. And look at this woman. She is a bit frazzled. I think she is homeschooling. She has people that she's quarantining with. She still has to do her job, all of these different things. So her mind is like a conductor, and it directs her body to feel emotionally and behave physically. So the heart takes in the messages that our brain receives, and then the gut responds accordingly. And that creates either health or illness or disease within our body. So we start processing it. In the gut, she's feeling stuck. As we move up to the heart, it becomes a feeling of overwhelm. And I think Julie mentioned overwhelm, which I really relate to. And then in her head, she gets in her head and she's like, oh, I have to figure this all out. How do I do this? Does anybody relate to that? I mean, I know I go in this cycle repeatedly. And if you really think about our emotions and our physical health, it is so interconnected, because if you think of a feeling, for example, like a heartbreak, if you can think back in high school and somebody broke your heart for the first time, or whenever it was, or someone truly broke your heart, there is a physical aching, like a physical ache that goes along with that emotion of heartache. I know I have had that physical ache myself, losing my mom recently. It's like a physical like heaviness and ache. Even the feeling of someone like watching you from across the room, right? You get this like gut feeling. So it manifests physiologically in our body. And then we have a reaction. So it could be head tension. It could be, as I said, like a knot in your stomach maybe, or it could be something positive. It could be like butterflies in your stomach because you have your first crush, or you meet a new partner for the first time. And so it can be a positive reaction as well, but they are all interconnected, and a biochemical reaction occurs. So it might be conflicted or confused. It might be upset stomach. It could be anything like that. And this results in disconnection or dis-ease. So in order, when that happens, we start to have a belief. So in this case, this woman who is just had it with all these feelings and her 3 brains all working together, she starts thinking like, I'm just not good enough. And then you start having the belief that's created. And we're always reinforcing old beliefs, or we're planting new ones. And anybody have that they just say they have that same belief over and over, and you just repeat it on kind of like on a loop in your mind. And so when we nurture the belief, we can either create seeds of beautiful new flowers, or we can create weeds, depending on what that belief is. So here's kind of like the overview of how that works. We have that life experience, we process it in our three brains, then we react to it, and it results in a belief. So what do we need to weed out? And what does this have to do with essential oils? Well, before that, whoops, before I go there, I'm just gonna double check to see if we have anything in the chat. Nope. Okay, whoops, going by. So how essential oils affect that. So I'd like to start out with that explanation so that you can understand a little bit about how an essential oil works, because both emotions and essential oils are chemically based, right? They're both powerful, create powerful reactions within the body. It says my screen sharing is paused, but I'm hoping you can see my screen. If you can't, let me know. So essential oils are very chemically complex, and that's why every oil has so many uses. Just take a look at this wild orange. If you have used wild orange, I would love to hear from you in the chat. What do you use it for? It can be used for so many things. So I like to use it for energy. Someone might like to use it for relaxation or stress. Let's see. Donna says in her water. Wayne says in his water. Donna says energizing. Laura's uplifting. Karen says definitely a pick-me-up. So you can see from that, there are so many ways to use wild orange. Good with peppermint for a wake up. Oh, Wayne, you're speaking my language there. I love a drop of wild orange and a drop of peppermint in my hands, rubbed together, and take a little inhalation. In fact, usually I start with a little oil. I can't believe I forgot that. So that is a great way to use your wild orange, and it can support your cell function, but it also creates a physical, emotional detox in your body. Wild orange is a favorite. So one of the reasons that essential oil molecules go cellular so quickly is because they're extremely dense. They're molecularly dense. And so just one drop of oil is very powerful. And that's why I always say essential oils are safe, effective, and affordable. One thing that makes them so affordable is they last a while, because you can use them just a little tiny bit, and a little bit goes a long way. And you can use them for so many different applications. So to give you an example, you can see this little magnified peppermint oil sac, and if you had a leaf of peppermint, you would not be able to see it with your naked eye.
Still on the wild orange slide.
Oh, okay. We'll just go back into it in a second. We'll share again, and then you'll see the slide maybe, and maybe not. I'll just talk about it anyways. What do you see now? Are you seeing peppermint?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So one drop of peppermint is like drinking 28 cups of peppermint tea. So if you love your peppermint tea for a little digestive support, then you just need one drop of peppermint instead of drinking a bunch of cups of tea. Or you can even use a drop of peppermint azure tea if you wanted. But these tiny molecules from the chemical compounds in essential oils can service every cell in your body in a very short time. So now where's my move forward? Right. So just a single drop, 40 million trillion molecules. I don't even know how to even count that high. And it's very fast, which is another reason why using essential oils are very effective, and why you can shift a mood so quickly. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention quality, because I talk about quality in every single bit of essential oil education that I do. The quality of the oil is of the utmost importance. So when I talk about things that essential oils can do and how they can support you, I work with doTERRA, so I'm only referring to the doTERRA certified pure therapeutic grade of oils. And that is beyond the synthetic, food, or therapeutic. You see a few of these designations down here. It is the highest grade of oil. And if I'm talking about my emotional well-being and I am feeling extremely anxious or deeply depressed, I want the best, right? I don't want to mess around with something that has synthetics in it. And if you're purchasing oils at, you know, Walmart, Bed and Bath, you could probably get them like at Home Depot now. I don't even know. Or even any oils that you purchase on Amazon, including doTERRA, since there are no certified sellers on Amazon for doTERRA, they can certainly have synthetics added to them and they can be doctored. They often are. So I would recommend purchasing directly from one of the doTERRA representatives. Certified pure therapeutic grade. This is the purest and the most tested essential oil company on the planet. So I feel very safe when I'm using them. So how are we using them for our emotional wellness? One way we can do it is aromatically. So the fastest way to the brain, the fastest way to affect your mood is by inhaling. So you can always take a bottle of oil and put a drop in your hand and just inhale it. Or you can use something like that diffuser that's shown there. And I have one going on behind me right now. And I have them in almost every room of my home because I want to be able to create different moods in the different rooms. So in my office, I'm going to be diffusing oils that help me focus and be energized and be creative. In the bedroom, I'm going to be diffusing oils that help me relax and chill out and sleep. And sleep all the time, but especially in times of such trauma right now is really, really important. So when we smell an oil, we go right into the limbic area of the brain, which is where our emotions and our memories live. So can you think of a time where you smell something and it brings you immediately back to a memory? And if you have a smell like that, I would love to have you drop it in the chat. For me, two that I was thinking of, that one that I always think of is basil. It reminds me of being in my grandmother's on her patio. She had a lot of basil plants. She was always making sauce. So there'd be a pot of sauce boiling and basil immediately takes me back to that patio. And then not an essential oil, but I don't know if anyone remembers Emerald, the perfume. My grandmother, Nanny, wore that perfume and that smell, it just makes me think of her. So, whoops. I saw somebody put something in the chat. Let's see how we can bring it down. Nope, we don't know. I will bring it down in a second. Fantastic. So if you have any sense like that, there we go. Grandma's baking pie. I love that. The different fur oils, Karen says, Christmas time, absolutely. For me, it's rose, as my grandmother wore rose water. Julie, I love rose water. That is a great one. Yeah, so it's connected to memories. And when we use an essential oil to shift a mood, we tag an emotion to a smell. So if we use some rose and that brings us to a nice memory of our grandmother, we actually can kind of lock in that memory that this, when I smell this rose, it's gonna make me feel good. Dinah, I love it. Chalk, back in grade school. That is true. That is another one. The other one that I thought of recently is Love's Baby Soft, high school. Yeah, if I smelled that, I don't even know if they still make that anymore, but if I smelled that, I'd be back in high school. But if you want to sort of tag an emotion to a smell, you can do that using your essential oils and using them aromatically. So a couple that I chose to highlight today. One thing I'm hearing from a lot of people, and I've personally been experiencing, is trouble focusing. I really have lack of focus. Anytime I really need to do something, I'll just go on social media and waste time. And lemon is beautiful for focusing. So When we think aromatic use of oils to support our emotions, I love lemon in the diffuser, and it can uplift me, it improves my focus, energizes me, and just gets me in a little bit of a happier place. So if anybody else likes lemon for focus, I would love to hear it, because that is really my go-to oil for focusing. And as I said, you can use oils for so many different things. One oil is very versatile, so I like lemon in my water as well. It's very detoxifying, and I like it in my cleaning products. And Lord knows I'm doing a lot of cleaning lately. Anybody else doing a lot of cleaning? Oh, Laura says cleaning. So while our purpose today is to just target a couple of the most common emotions that are floating around right now, like focus, know that that bottle of lemon can take you so many other places, which is awesome. All right, overwhelm, that came up in our original chat. Serenity is a great oil for when you are feeling overwhelmed. It helps to calm you. It helps to reduce stress. And many people love this as an oil for sleep. So again, using it, good question, using it for all of those purposes aromatically, Serenity is a great choice. Donna has a great question. What if you don't really like lavender? Yes, there is lavender in this blend. But the beauty of essential oils too is that there are so many other choices. So we could stay here all night and I could highlight, you know, a dozen oils for each of these emotions. So, oh, Karen says it energizes you. So that's a great, I'm so glad you said that, Karen. So two things for that. So if you don't really like lavender, there are so many other choices. Wood oils are really wonderful for relaxation and for when you are feeling overwhelmed. Wayne is mentioning Serenity has cedarwood and vetiver in it, which you can buy separately. Those are two of my go-tos for grounding and calming, vetiver in particular. So we like to say often that, you know, essential oils, you can kind of think of them as prescription in a way. And what I mean by that is if you went to your doctor and he prescribed something for you and you tried it and it didn't work, you wouldn't say, oh, you know what, prescriptions don't work for me, so I'm down, I'm out, they don't really work for me. You would go back to your doctor and say, that didn't work, what else can we try? And that is the same with essential oils. So Donna mentioned she doesn't really like lavender. Balance is her go-to. So that is a beautiful example, because this may not be the one that suits your body chemistry the best. So at times there is a little bit of experimentation with essential oils. If you get something and it's not, you're not getting the results you want, you know, go to the person who shared oils with you and they can definitely help you out to find another choice. And again, the other good news is that because there are so many uses for each oil and they are so versatile, if I had a bottle of lavender or of Serenity, which has lavender in it, and I didn't like it, I didn't like the smell of it, I would still keep that lavender handy in my kitchen because it is fantastic if you burn yourself. So it is, when you think lavender, you think calming and soothing. So it's not just calming and soothing for your mood. And if that doesn't do it for you with your mood, you can use it for your skin, calming and soothing on the skin for breakouts or rash, or like I said, if you burn your hand or something in the kitchen, it's a perfect oil for that. All right, next we're going to talk topical. And I love that Laura mentioned you can put it on the bottom of your feet too, so you don't really smell it. That's perfect lead in, Laura. It's like you're like a plant, because now we want to talk about topical use. So when we use an oil topically, it helps to stimulate self-repair. And Laura mentioned the bottoms of your feet, and that is one of the best places to put an oil so that it gets in for a collective cellular response. As Sheila is saying, you could just put socks on if you really didn't like the smell of it. You can put an oil on the back of your neck. I'm going to go ahead and do that with my Serenity right now. You can put it across your forehead. You can put it over your heart. I love to do an oil over my heart every morning and night. I like to do my wrist creases and also the elbow creases. And I know we've got Karen Hand on here, who is an acupuncturist and expert about why we put it on our wrist creases. I don't know exactly why, but I know that this is a channel with the heart that is a great spot for the oils. So there are many places you could topically place your oil and still get emotional support. And for example, when I first started using vetiver for sleep, I found it to be very effective for sleep for me, but I did not like the smell initially. Now I really love the smell, but it smelled like dirt to me. So I would put it on my feet and I'd put my socks on, and then it really didn't bother me at all. So when you are using an oil topically, you will want to consider adding it with the carrier oil. I like to use fractionated coconut oil, which is a liquefied coconut oil that does not smell like coconut, so it takes the smell of the oil on. And this way, if you have sensitive skin, it's a safer way to do it, especially if you are going to apply on children. And it's just a nice way to dilute the oil without diluting the benefits of it. And I will say, though, I get this question a lot lately. If I am putting it on the bottoms of my feet, I just put a drop on the bottoms of my feet. You don't necessarily, your feet are pretty tough. They're very porous. So you don't necessarily have to do that. So Karen's gonna give us the scoop here. And she says there are 6 meridians that travel through the arms, but the wrist creases cover the heart, lung, and the heart protector meridian, the pericardium. And the creases have powerful acupoints there. So on the days you can't get out to Karen for your acupuncture, you can do a little acupoints at home with your oils and still affect your mood. Thank you, Karen. Thank you so much. So another topical one that I wanted to highlight today is breathe. And this one that I'm showing today is in a roller ball. I actually don't have it handy. I don't have a roller ball or breathe. I need one. But a roller, a touch oil is in a roller ball like this. So it's already including your fractionated coconut oil. So then you can just do, as Karen is suggesting, you can just roll it there. So I wanted to highlight breathe for grief. There is a lot of grief right now, and you don't have to personally have lost someone to be grieving. Everyone right now, I believe, is grieving something. So whether you're grieving your freedom, your ability to go to work, your ability to get together with your friends, your ability to go out and have dinner, your ability to go to the gym, grieving, you know, income that you may have lost. There's just so many things that you might be grieving right now. And breathe is a respiratory blend. So again, multifunctional. Everything has many functions. So breathe can help us with our respiratory system. We can take a deep breath. And if you are feeling grief, where do you feel it in your body, right? It is an emotion, but it is a physical sensation as well. And you can feel heavy on the lungs. And so I love this oil for grief. I've been carrying it around with me and using it constantly. I just find that it's really a wonderful oil to help me pause and take a breath. And really, our day is made up with little choices and little rituals. And so just putting a drop of essential oil on your chest and taking a moment to breathe, or just putting an essential oil in your hands and taking a few deep breaths is a wonderful, wonderful ritual that you can do that takes mere seconds that can have dramatic impact on how you go through your day and how you move through your day. And Laura is saying, breathe is so good to start your day or during meditation. That is so fantastic, Laura, because I never think of using that during meditation, or even, I do use it when I get up lately. I know a lot of people, and I believe Wayne mentioned it earlier, love breathe in the diffuser at nighttime. So you can end your day with it, or you can start your day with it. And I know we have a lot of folks on our team that were very involved with the Sandy Hook tragedy, and breathe is one that they used quite a bit with the teachers and the children there. And in a lot of other tragic incidents that we've had around our country, our teams have sent lots of bottles of Breathe. And Jean mentions before exercise, which is a time where I will also use it. I like it before working out. So another feeling that's come up for a lot of people is feelings of being anxious. And so I mentioned Serenity, that does have some lavender, but I wanted to highlight lavender. I won't talk about it too much because I kind of got into it earlier, but soothing, calming, and relaxing. So feelings of, anxious feelings, this is a wonderful oil to use. And then our third way after aromatic and topical is internal. And this helps balancing chemical reactions in our body. So because we have a very pure therapeutic grade oil, most of the oils are labeled for dietary use as well and can be taken internally. So you can do that with a drop in your water. Love that. You can do it a drop under your tongue. You can do some oils in gel caps. There are many ways that you can use the oils internally. And this has a full systemic effect in the body. And that's why I love sort of the instant, oils work so fast, no matter how you're using them, but I love that sort of quick internal use where I feel like it's just getting everywhere when I do that. So the one I wanted to focus on tonight is On Guard, which is our protective blend. And this one is, we can't keep it on the shelves right now because our immune system is of the utmost importance right now. Always. I don't want to ever disregard that it's always important to have a strong immune system, but this oil also helps to give us emotional strength. It's a great oil if you're feeling vulnerable. And how can we not be feeling vulnerable right now? There's so much uncertainty. And so many of us are feeling very strong feelings of vulnerability. And On Guard is wonderful for that. And so I like to use this one. I'll just do like a drop. I'll do like a drop on my thumb. I'll put it on the roof of my mouth. It is there is cinnamon there and clove. So, if you don't like spicy, you may not want to use it in an internal way directly. You might put it in a gel cap. They actually come in soft gels. And those have been really helpful for keeping our immune system up. So I really love that. And I see we have some comments on our Facebook Live too. Liz is liking lemon too. Is there a difference from ingesting lemon versus topically or diffusing it? Any one of those methods is good. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. I kind of look at aromatically is often when I'm really looking to change the whole mood of the, the space. Topically is when there's something particular that kind of is ailing me, even if it's my heart, for example. And internally is when I want that like full systemic effect. So, but as with any citrus, you want to be careful because citruses are photosensitive. So if you're going to be out in the sun, you want to put that citrus where the sun doesn't shine. So bottoms of the feet are good for that. All right. So obviously it's not all oils only. I would be, remiss if I didn't mention that we need to incorporate many other healthy habits like hydrating, moving, resting, and also eating good whole foods, because all of those things are really important for our overall emotional and physical well-being. Laura says that On Guard is great to protect energetically too. Yes, energetically. So right now, I'm glad you brought that up, Laura, because I hadn't remembered to say that. And we have a lot of things sapping our energy right now. And so in order to protect our energy, On Guard on the bottom of your feet, whether it's just, news, politics, coworkers, family members, whoever it might be that you feel you need some protection, that's really helpful. Jill, you're using oregano in the office. Tell us a little bit about that. So Jill is a chiropractor, and I know she is taking great measures to make sure that everything is sterilized and safe. And so essential oils are great if you know, not just in the home, but in your workplace or in your place of business to up the sanitation, sanitization. And while we are on the topic of On Guard, you've got a whole line of cleaning products and other products with On Guard. So, you know, your concentrated cleaner, your foaming hand wash. I love the toothpaste and the mouthwash and the laundry detergent. So I know I'm getting that protection, both emotionally and physiologically, with the On Guard product line. All right. So, fantastic. She says in the diffuser, antibiotic, anti-inflammatory. Yes, oregano. I didn't include that in our short little collection today, but oregano is wonderful for. It's like nature's antibiotic, and it smells like pizza. Donna says. Yeah, you never know. Maybe if you are at Jill's office, you may also end up getting some pizza or a cannoli as big as your head. Just saying. So essential oils can give us that moment by moment support. And that's another thing I love about them. It doesn't matter what kind of emotion comes up. I can reach in my purse or my gym bag or on my counter and put a dab of oil on or take a drop in my mouth. And it's just moment to moment support, which is wonderful. And so as the day goes by, all kinds of different emotions, all kinds of things come our way every day, but especially right now. So it's a great way to have that support system. And I love this quote. You fill a bucket drop by drop, you clear your mind thought by thought, and you heal yourself moment by moment. So for the oils that I highlighted today, if you are currently a customer in doTERRA and you saw one of those oils that sounded good to you, like, gee, I really need some Breathe for Grief or whatever it might be, you can always log into your wholesale account and, you know, grab whatever it is you might need. If you are brand new to doTERRA and you do not have an account and you are not working with anyone, reach out to the person who invited you tonight, or if it was me that invited you, then reach out to me. And this is a great package. And even if you are a customer, you can purchase this package, which is a nice little discounted package. And it includes the lemon that we talked about for focus, On Guard for vulnerability, Serenity for overwhelm, Breathe for grief, Wild Orange for energy and also PTSD, lavender for anxiety, a diffuser that will be perfect for you to fill your space with wonderful smells to shift your mood. And this is sort of like a bonus little thing in here because I love the deep blue rub. And while we did not cover that in terms of our emotional health, right now being quarantined, I'm like walking like crazy, or you might be sitting all day because you are, put our chat down here, because you're on Zoom calls all day. It's great for any muscular, you know, muscle or bone support. And so that's just kind of makes the package complete so that we're looking at all of our different systems. And finally, for the newcomers, I'm adding in here, great on a hot disc. Ooh. Yes, yes. Oh, and Wayne mentions it's also good for surrendering emotional pain. Yes, it's not just for physical pain. It's great for releasing emotional pain too, because as I say a lot in a lot of the workshops I teach, your issues are in your tissues. So that Deep Blue can help with that release as well. And then finally, I'm throwing in this Citrus Bliss for free for the newcomers tonight. And so if you are new and you want to grab this package, then you're just going to shoot me your email and I will give you a link and a code. And I'll also put it on the screen in a moment. And so this is a complete package that can help you really get a solid start and a solid foundation for supporting your emotional health, whether it's the vulnerability, the grief, the focus, the overwhelm, the anxious feelings, and also that muscle release. And the citrus bliss is great for invigorating. So if you need a little energy, you're finding it hard to be motivated right now, that's a good one for that use. So for newcomers today, this is, you can do a little screenshot. This is a link and a code if I invited you tonight. And if you already have an account, then you can disregard this slide and you can just log into your own account and you can grab the deal that way. So you just need to let me know, and I can send this to you also in a text or an email, so it's easy to click on. So think about, what do you want to plant? Are you planting seeds or are you planting weeds? Right now, we're in an unprecedented time of uncertainty, overwhelm, fear, and we have to be gentle and kind with ourselves, and we have to be caring for ourselves also. And so I know for myself, it's been an extremely emotional, the last 6 weeks have been incredibly emotional for me. And I rely on my most important and valuable tools, my relationships, the people that are close to me. I see some of my very favorite people watching right now, and you know who you are, and I love you so much. And just taking care of my physical body, drinking lots of water, eating good foods, moving, but also using my essential oils. It's a very key tool in my toolbox for emotional well-being and for also my physical well-being. So I hope that you got some valuable information here tonight. It basically all comes back to going back to nature. Going back to nature, going back to plants. These are powerful, beautiful gifts from the earth that can help lift our mind, renew our body, and heal the heart, just like this quote here says. And so that is what I really wish for everyone. So again, if you are interested in grabbing some oils and you have any questions, either email me from the registration link that you received when you got your confirmation. You got my email there, so you can just write back and let me know. And oh, I love that. I love what Donna says. Thank you, and I so appreciate the reminders and the additional connection to Mother Earth. And if you'd like to learn more about doTERRA, it is an exciting time in doTERRA. So I want to take 1 minute to just add a little bit about that. We have 3 different pathways in doTERRA. We have people who are purely customers and love the products and want to support their health naturally and support the health of their family. And we love that. That's 85% of our folks. Then we have people who share. And those are people who love supporting their health and being healthy, but they also want to tell other people about it. And we love that too. And for those people, we will do an online class like this. All you have to do is gather the folks. I provide the Zoom link and a special gift for you. And also I will make another little offer and bonus for your participants. And we love those people who like to share the message and just spread the word, because we want to have a healer in every home. And then finally, we also have people that like to build a business. And that's a small percentage of our people, but if that sounds like it might be interesting to you, perhaps it's an additional stream of income for you. Perhaps it's a couple extra $100 a month for you that would make a difference, or perhaps it will replace an income that you lost, or an income that you want to add. So right now, there is no better time to share in doTERRA. They have done something unprecedented in network marketing, as far as I know, and that is they have opened up 200 additional founders spots that will be open for the next year for people to earn. What does that mean? That means that these 200 people who grow a doTERRA business will get a piece of the pie every month for a lifetime of the next $1 billion that doTERRA makes. So if making an income for you is something that's on the top of your priority list right now, and you want to create some income, whether it's a few $100s or you want to go big, talk to me because I would love to share it with you. So thanks everybody. I'm so glad. Oh, this was great, Kristen. Thank you. Thank you, Jill. Thanks for being here. Elizabeth, that was wonderful. Thank you so much. Dinah, so glad to see you here. Dinah says, this webinar reminded me I have more tools that I need to use. And I know Dinah uses her oil tools. Sammy, thank you. So glad for all of you that are here. I'm going to stop the share. And I really appreciate everyone being here tonight. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop the recording.